Hello, Hope Unlocked listeners. Did you know I offer coaching? New Wings Coaching empowers women to rise up with new wings in their calling, communication, and connections through coaching, courses, and community. To hear more, please email me at Kristin, Kristin, Kurtz, Kurtz, at new, New Wings, Wings, coaching, coaching.net. And mention Hope Unlocked to hear more about the discounted rate just for my Hope Unlocked listeners. I also have a Facebook group called Women of Wonder Warriors Arise. Just check out the show notes for the link to access the group, and you can also access the show notes for my email address as well. Enjoy today's show. Hello. I just wanted to come on here pretty quick, hopefully. Oh, gosh. So I don't know if you saw my post this morning about the word of the day is intentions. In the tension, keep moving forward in faith. I think that was the gist of my post this morning. I've had kind of a wild day / week. And I thought I would just share a little bit. I was actually going to do a Facebook Live about this last week, and I'm kind of prompted to, just because of maybe situationally, it's kind of coming up in the natural, in the fullness and the realness of it. So best of intentions. So, we are all on a journey, and if you are a Christ follower, you, at least I would say, like me, I'm doing everything I can to really stay in step with the Lord and listen to Holy Spirit and to follow as He leads, to release, literally let go of things that He calls me to let go of, to release things to people through words, through, gifts, donations, sowing into people's ministries, sowing into people's businesses. So releasing. So there's a give and a take, right? So sometimes the Lord, has us, it's like a takeaway, right? There's things that come into our life for a season, and then there's things that we are called to release. And back on 12/22/23, I was actually called to release something that I was part of for over a year. I wasn't expecting that, but I knew that it was something that He was calling me to release, and I did, and there was a peace about it. And sometimes when things don't maybe look like they make sense, I'm just going to encourage you to follow Him in that. But when it comes to that release, there was a key that He kept showing me was, if I were not to release that thing, there would be kind of a block on the main focus that I'm called to in this season. And what I want to share with you today is, and this is what I was actually going to share about last week, is if you have a business and you are a Christian and you charge for your services, how do you feel about that? Because for me, for a long time, in the beginning, I've had my coaching business for 7 years. I had my prices the same for a very long time. And anybody who came in with me in the very beginning, I've kept the same prices for, my clients. And as time has gone on, I've had many people tell me what I should or shouldn't be charging, that I charge too much, I charge too little. And, we can come in with the best of intentions, and not everybody's going to understand, and that is okay. For me, I have been the last 6 months, I would say, since I've really gotten more confident in this journey of being a business owner and really letting go of things to the point of like, you know, letting go of a secure job back in November of 2021. Like, that doesn't make sense on paper, and being willing to let go. To then, you know, like I said, in December, letting go of another, you know, resource for income. And then now going like full on with this coaching business because of different situations that maybe you have faced along the way, or maybe people have told you what, or, you know, you should or shouldn't do. I was just so blessed to be part of something back in 2017. Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur. I was introduced to Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur and the book Grace Over Grind by Shay Bynes. I would highly recommend that. I wasn't planning to go here, but I guess I'm going here right now. It really transformed things for me because prior to that, I was in like a network marketing business where I didn't listen to God, in essence, in business. It was kind of like God was on a shelf over here, and I was just listening to, you know, people who were in the business who had been successful. And I thought, oh my gosh, I want to be successful too, because my dream at that time was to be home and to be home with my kids. So it became what I don't like to say is hustle. And I think you guys maybe have seen my posts. It's like, I don't even like to hear holy hustle. Like, those two words don't go together. You can argue with me on that if you want to. That's okay. You can like it if you like to, but I don't. So, all that to say, I went on a journey and learned how to do business in partnership with God. And I don't do it perfect all the time. I come with the best of intentions. There's been some times over the last 6 months, especially, where I have been kind of questioned for charging, or again, charging too much, charging too little, all the things. And I guess my question to you is, if you maybe look at me or other Christian business owners and think that maybe you shouldn't be charging, or we shouldn't be charging, like, would you rather, you know, would you rather work with somebody who has the best of intentions, like has the best of intentions for you and has the best of intentions to stay in alignment with his will? I love Proverbs 3:5-6. You can make your plans, but the Lord determines your steps, right? So as much as, like, I'm not always going to get it right, I have the best of intentions. And there's a tension in that, right? Because there's the world, you know, when you're in business, the world has this method that is trying to like pull you off over here. And the Lord's like, just keep following me. Keep following me. It's not going to make sense to people. It's not going to make sense to everybody. And to just get so firmed up. And I've been talking a lot about this. I talked a lot about this in one of the group coaching programs that I did last year, about when you get so clear and so firmed up on, you know, I like to talk about purpose and calling, right? Well, our ultimate purpose and calling is to follow the Lord, to be in a relationship with Jesus, to listen to Holy Spirit, okay? But beyond that, there is a calling. There is a calling in our life to spread his word, to bring people to salvation. I mean, it goes far and wide. But there is also, like, I believe that there is an inner calling in our DNA. Like, he created us for something. And I don't know about you guys, but if you aren't fully, like, if you aren't walking it out, you're gonna know it. There's a tension there. There's a huge tension there. like what I was feeling when I was working in corporate. It's like, I just felt like my wings were clipped, and that like, I just kept crying out, like, there's more, like, there's more. But that was a preparation season, right? I had to go through and through and through. I had to keep going. And that's part of my calling, is to help women keep going and to do the hard things, to do the maybe doesn't make sense, stepping out things. So part of that, in this calling, when you're not like, what I'm trying to say is, when you are so firmed up in what the Lord is calling you to do, it's going to be harder for those arrows that are coming at you. Like, I've had a lot of arrows in my life. If you only knew. I don't share a lot about all the arrows. Someday I will, maybe at some point in my life. But when the arrows are coming fast and furious, they're going to bounce off a little quicker, because you are so clear on like just that next step. It's like, I have a little sign up here. It says, God's work done in God's way will never lack God's supply. And I have 3 business strategies, I guess you could say. The first one is surrender, connection, and then stepping stones. So as you are taking like one step, literally some days it's like, okay, I answered an email. That doesn't sound very productive, but it's taking like a step, right? So it's just taking these steps as he leads. It's doing things that are intentional, but there's often a tension in it, because if you are walking this thing out, it's not always easy. So just even this last week, it's been very challenging. And yet I know that he has called me to do this work, and I don't like whatever others are going to say, like that doesn't bear weight over what the Lord is saying to me. It doesn't bear weight over to what the Lord is saying to you. So, the enemy would just love for me to give up. The enemy would love for me to stay quiet. The enemy would love for me to just give up, right? The enemy would love for you to give up, because we've all been created with something that is precious to release to others. And if you don't release the beauty and the goodness within you, there's at least one. I always like to say, like, every time I come on here, I'm like, there's just one person who needs to hear this. I'm not here for a big platform. I am not here to go buy a mansion. I'm not here to have a fancy car. Like, I drive a 2003 Yukon, you guys. So I'm not here to like get rich, right? I don't know about you guys, but that is not my purpose in life. My purpose is so beyond that. And if I can just reach one each day, like, that's all that matters. Because I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about this before. I'm kind of going on like a whole thing here. Like one, and I don't, maybe I haven't shared this before, but 1 times 1 in the world is 1, right? That's the simple math. But 1 times 1 in the kingdom is exponential. So when you impact somebody with whatever it is that you're called to do that day, or whatever it is that you're called to say that day, it goes beyond you. Like, there's an amplification that happens. I like to say, when you say yes to something, there's a ripple effect that happens. And then there's a tidal wave that happens, because it's the ripple. And then it keeps spreading, and it spreads. And we don't even see half of what goes beyond that little, like if you do skipping stones, it's like you can actually see the stones skipping and then it drops. But I'm saying that when you go out and you do that thing that you're called to unabandonedly, with intention, in the tension, and you speak with intention, even if there is a tension. I had a block on my voice for years. It felt like a chokehold. And it's taken a lot to break past that. And it's my heart to see women roar. It really is. And it's my heart to see women soar in their calling, and I'm going to keep going. And if some of you might not like that, and that's okay. Some people may not like what you're doing, and I just want to encourage you today that you need to just keep going. You need to keep going. I had such a beautiful meeting this morning with some other local prayer warriors, intercessors, ministry leaders, business owners, and goodness gracious, it filled my cup. So we need to stay in lockstep with people who are going against the grain, walking a narrow road. And that's part of what my calling is to really, I'm staying on the front lines, and there's, like I said, there's a lot of arrows, but I'm tenacious. I'm not giving up, and I'm not going to let you give up. So if you need some back end support, reach out to me. I don't know what would be the best resource. I might not be your best resource, but I am a massive connector. Love connecting people to resources and to other people. And so that's what I got for today. Keep your best intentions in the tension and keep going. Okay? Take care. Bye.